Hello everyone and welcome to Dead Bits, which is a first-person shooter slash platformer, and I'm going to be showing off the first half of the game. Alright, so here we are. Something you're going to notice about this game right away is that it's kind of amateurish, and that it has an unmistakable style to it. I really like how the world looks. Even the water is cubes. There aren't many guns in the game. This is our rifle. I just wanted to show off that the game won't let you shoot them from up here, even though you should be able to. The rifle, I think, is the most powerful weapon. Kills most enemies in just a couple hits. This soundtrack is all original. Now, whether you like dubstep or not, it's kind of impressive. Kind of a nice soundtrack. I'm really not sure what the introduction of zombies served to do as far as this game goes. It could really be any enemy. Though I suppose them being zombies makes an excuse for how mindless they are. But if they were any more strategic, the game wouldn't really be playable. We don't have a whole lot of options ourselves. Here's one of the only times in the game we need to destroy something in the environment to proceed. I'm not sure what this weird gun we're holding is supposed to resemble. I mean, it acts as a rifle. But it looks like some sort of paint gun or something. Are you digging the strategy in these early stages? We just back up and shoot at them a few times. Granted, the game does get more difficult. This time we just get a bat, and we get introduced to the game's first taste of platforming. These rotating platforms are actually not really easy to fall off. They have a much larger hitbox than they appear to. We're just gonna go around this fellow. Trying to fight him in close quarters is not worth it. He takes way too many hits. Now these guys we can handle. I used to have trouble with them, but they stop a split second in front of you before attacking. And you can just smack them when that happens. I do still really like how this game looks. It's like a really weird fever dream. I want someone to play this while they have a fever. So after you learn the trick to these guys, you just gotta repeat it over and over and over and over. Because there's a lot of them. Just huge lines of them. And they usually come at you one at a time, unless you trigger multiple at once. But I'm not sure why you do that on purpose. I can't tell whether the game randomly decides when to do that gray filter, or if it just does it at certain enemies. Although I am probably the world's leading Dead Bits expert, I can't even answer that for you. The downward slope here lets us be a little bit more aggressive, since they have to work to get toward us. It's not necessary to be more aggressive, but it makes things go faster. And I'm a fan of that. Because this is not exactly thrilling. Really, yeah, this was the whole stage. Just this, over and over. This time we don't start with a weapon. We have to make our way to the glowing arrow. I don't know why, since there's no real difference in just picking it up when we start. I mean, there's no enemy in our way toward the weapon. Seems kind of arbitrary. This is definitely where the stages start to get kind of hard. When I say hard, I mean trial and error. And I've tried and errored this game so many times that it's not really difficult for me anymore. I really don't know why they did this. This is not interesting or fulfilling. It's probably even less fulfilling to watch. After we move a certain point past here, the ground behind us fades away, and if we back up too far, we'll fall into a bottomless pit. This is important. You're not given any real indication that the ground toward the entrance just leaves, just vanishes. And it's obvious why they made that happen. It's because of this big guy right here. And you're obviously gonna have to back up to fight him. But they knew if you backed up too far, you'd fall into the pit. Now, there are a ton of games that pull the vanishing platform thing. But usually there's some kind of sound effect or indication that the platforms are gone. You don't really know until it's too late here. There's another one hiding right behind the first. I would be lying if I didn't say I died several times to that. Oh, that guy's walking on the wall. Look at him. I do think it's both funny and actually pretty cool that dubstep suddenly triggers during sudden fights. Like, this game's kinda cute. The developers were obviously amateurish, and the dubstep was like their way of saying, oh man, stuff's getting serious. Still can't shoot enemies even though we should be able to, because the developer doesn't know how level design works. This is actually the easiest part of the level. We just stay back here and shoot at them. Now, inexplicably, they can ignore the path entirely and walk across the black area. We would fall through that. They don't have to obey the laws of physics, though. I like the way the enemies break into pieces, and that the pieces have individual physics. I mean, it would probably look really goofy if it were more realistic, but they're just made of blocks. Again, it's really hard to fall off these platforms because they made the hitbox deceptively big. Which is nice of them. Some more pretty minor platforming. The trick is to not ever hold the jump button, because then your character will bounce around like a bunny when he lands again. Don't hold the jump button. This guy is like the guys we fought in the last level, just significantly tougher. And by tougher, I mean he has more health. And that's about it. He comes with more dubstep music, though. Also, we can zoom in, even though that's not really ever necessary. Amazing, the soundtrack says. Come on, this game's pretty cute, even if it's not exactly good. I would give this game a hug. Even if water doesn't work this way. Here we're introduced to tiny zombies, which are the most annoying enemy in the game. They are much faster than their larger counterparts, and they gang up on you. They deal damage to you very quickly. We don't actually have a lot of health. We don't want to use the rifle. It's stronger, but we're trying to do some crowd control here. Just stay as far back as possible. Luckily, the hallway is kind of long. And the bullets do push them back. I kind of want the soundtrack back now. This is also not very challenging or interesting. It's so quiet. If you're interested, you can buy the soundtrack on Steam, though that requires the game. I'm not sure why it does. This is not fun. I'm not sure what the score counter is for, since you get a set amount of score for killing all the enemies. It's not like there's extra enemies to kill or anything. As far as I know, you have to kill all of them. Right now it's clearly going for a rich atmosphere. We can only hear the sound of our footsteps on these floating water things. You don't really play this game to have fun. You play it because it's weird. I mean, it's pretty bad by all traditional standards. Oh, hey, the dubstep's back! Here's a new kind of enemy. They throw giant snow boulders at us, which we can shoot out of the air. Now, the snow boulders have, like, a weird half-assed animation, where there's a placeholder image, and then they magically appear. And I don't understand why that is. You'll see, like, the snowball appears halfway toward me. Magically. Yeah, like that. I don't understand how they couldn't program them throwing a snowball. Our bullets also seem to destroy the snow boulders before they actually move. I really don't understand anything about these enemies. I understand how they work in theory, but they're not even that hard. There's more of them. It's weird. It's a weird enemy with weird glitches. Again, I feel the need to say this is not fun. This is not a game you play to have fun. I'm sure the developers intended it to be fun. Just didn't really turn out that way. I don't understand why the soundtrack kicked in after we already killed everything. I mean, my adrenaline's not pumping now. Not that it was before, but even less so now. Alright, so that was the first half of Dead Bits. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you soon.